Hello, good evening. I hope I find you well. I hope I find you well. This nice kind of a day, isn't it? It wasn't quite as chilly. It was 12 degrees. But when you're at the seaside, it often feels chillier. But anyway, we'll start off with the usual way. And I'm just looking for something. Where is it? Oh, will she? Yeah, we start off with Sweetheart of Jesus, fount of love and mercy, today we come thy blessing to implore. Oh, touch our hearts, so cold and so ungrateful, and make us love thee more and more each day. Sweetheart of Jesus, we implore. Oh, make us love thee more and more. Sweetheart of Jesus, make us pure and gentle, and teach us how to do thy blessed will, to follow close the print of thy dear footsteps. And when we fall, sweetheart, oh, love us still. Sweetheart of Jesus, we implore. Oh, make us love thee more and more. Isn't that lovely? Now we're going to sing one. We're going to sing a little lad for Our Lady of Knock. How's about that? There were people of all ages gathered round the gable wall, poor and humble women, and that humble men and women, little children that you call. We are gathered here before you, and our hearts are just the same, filled with joy at such a vision as we praise your name. Golden Rose, Queen of Ireland, all my cares and troubles cease as we kneel with love before you, Lady of Knock, and my Queen of Peace. Though your message was unspoken, still the truth in silence lies as we gaze upon your vision, and the truth I try to find. Here I stand with John the teacher, and with Joseph at your side, and I see the Lamb of God on the altar glorified. Golden Rose, Queen of Ireland, all my cares and troubles cease as we kneel with love before you, a Lady of Knock and my Queen of Peace. Isn't that lovely? Doesn't it do your heart good when you sing a little couple of hymns? Have a stab at it. Have a go at it yourself. Yeah. Who's the rappers? Quiet. The ways I'm trying to do it. I'm in a different establishment, shall we say, than I am at home. So I can't talk as loud as I can at home, sort of thing. You know yourself. When I'm at home, there's only the birds is liable to hear me. Not good. Yeah, and the people that follow me, of course. So let's talk. How did you get on today? Hmm? Well, it being Saturday, I decided I'd like to get the sacrament of confession, and where better to get it than in the Franciscan Church uh, in Wexford. Now it's a narrow street, and there's cars I never saw. I said to myself, where did we come from or going in these narrow streets? Because you have to take it handy. But I know from being there before, you go and you take a sharp left. went, and I have an invalid sticker now on the car, age-wise, don't get me wrong, but so I parked beside the church. I have my friend Polly with me, and he's not too good in the pins, so it suited him very nicely, thank you, because we're just beside the church. So in we went, and blow, the mass wasn't going on. And we were there more or less for most of it, without a doubt. And then we heard the Sanctus, and was sung in Latin, which I kind of know, and I joined in wholeheartedly, and I went up near the front. Like, there was a fair few people in the church, it was the sort of practice in Wexford. Don't forget, Wexford suffered greatly during the Cromwellian times, and the savages. A lot of people was killed, and Franciscans was murdered as well. Franciscans were in Wexford for nearly 1,000 years. Great, and they were all executed during the Cromwell and the savages, and many people in Wexford was killed, and all sorts out in Rosslare and Rosslare Strand and all this. There's monuments there. There's a big monument in Wexford in the North Main Street near the Bull Ring, 1798. And then there's other ones where I come across where there was statues erected to men that were captains in the rebellion, and all the murders that took place in Scotty and everywhere. Winniger Hill. Very tragic. But anyways, went, and mass was going on, and there was 2 altar servers. The altar boys there wasn't Sultana surplice, they had white cloaks, and which was good to see, and priests were saying mass. I'd love to see them facing the tabernacle. Quite frankly, they faced the congregation, and I preferred the other way, the traditional way. When you were brought up that way, it's still in your DNA, shall we say. But in any event, it was a very nice mass, and it was a nice hymning and singing. And so I joined in with gusto. And I think the Our Father was sung in Latin, which I know, the Our Father, because that's where I was an altar boy myself. And you had to say the whole thing in Latin, including the I believe in God, Credo Nunum Dei, so I know all these. And then the Agnus Dei was in Latin, which of course I know as well. So I received Holy Communion kneeling. There was a kneeler put out, and people were kneeling at that. Most of them, older folk and all the rest, but I knelt and got a Holy Communion at the tongue. It was very nice. And I saw a man in a wheelchair on the right-hand side, and so we got the Holy Mass, and I decided to get confession. But my goodness, you want to see the kid. Normally he had it inside, and it was down at the back where normally might be 2 priests holding it, but there was only 1 priest. And there was quite a crowd. I had to join the crowd anyway. And I said it after Mass, I said the Stations of the Cross, and then there was somebody reciting the Rosary as I was going about. But as I was going down, a lady put out her hand and shook my hand and said, "Are you the Christian TV, the prayer time?" Yes, recognised me. I was very pleased about that little bonus, you know what I mean? And off I went anyway, Stations of the Cross, and finished them. It took me time. There was no rushing. And then I lit a couple of candles at the Sacred Heart. I lit 2, €50 each. Yeah, maybe not a bit cheaper. But they were bigger type candles, but still you can get, a lot of churches has them at 20 or 30, and I think that's sufficient. But however, I suppose it helps the subscriptions and something, because there was candles lighting, and then there was one for the Divine Mercy, I read the little thing about that, and I think there was a leaflet that I got. I more leaflets you can take a stick at, and so I got the confession eventually. Nearly was the last. There was two ladies there. Well, there was one, and a friendly enough one, and talking to her a bit, and that kind of thing. And then there was another lady come, and then they were communicating in some other language. I think perhaps Polish. It might be some other country, but that good English, I can tell you that. So they're here a good bit. So I was talking to them a bit, and they were pleasant and asked me what I had on my jacket. Like I had the cross of Jerusalem, that kind of a red cross, and I had St. Bridget's cross on the other side, and a little medal as well of Blessed Mother or that. And I gave one of them a card because she's able to use the internet, and shook hands and thanked me for my this, that, or the other. So, and then the lady that was had to be there says, "You." And they went off. They said, "We can get a confession some other time." So I moved up, and eventually I got in. And there was young people going to confession as well. I think the one family, a nice looking family, young family, and I have a feeling that they might be not Irish, but they were very respectable looking, and they would have been from some country that had the same features as us. But I have a feeling that the way they were, great respect. And they all looked alike. There was a couple of little boys, and I think two girls on the same family. So there was four of them, which is very good to see. And I saw a father who would have been from some other jurisdiction with his two sons, and then the next thing, two daughters come along. So four of them. So it's good to see that kind of thing. And I put up one of my leaflets on their notice board, I suppose. We'll see if it's still up. And I put a couple up the church here and there. And it's just the way I did it. And then not too from there, there's the Rowe Street. I think it's the Immaculate Church of the Immaculate Conception. And Rowe Street, a big church. And there's another sister one further apparently down. They were built a good while ago. And there's where there's a priest, a parish priest, Father Roach, buried there. I think he's venerable or something. And I said a prayer there for him, and I put up a notice, one of my leaflets, and put a few in the church. So it was an interesting day, and there was other further afields which I'll talk later on. Yeah, not tonight. I think I've enough. Isn't it funny what goes on? So it was good to see what the ones going to confession. Yes, sorry. Yeah, oh, papers. Mass, when we went in, I thought Mass usually starts at 11 o'clock, so I was there just before 11. And Mass was going on, so then confession was a different kettle of fish. Quite long. I remember going to it there before, must have been during the week, and there was only one in front of me kind of thing, and the priest was inside in a different, wasn't in a confession box. It was up in the church, and like the precept or concept, whatever you call it, where people often kneel for Mass. I like to be in the middle if I can manage it, which we were. Very handy for going up for communion then. We're all kneeling. There was a kneeler put out, and most people was kneeling. Young and old, but one or two that wouldn't be too fit didn't kneel. But I did. So that was that day. So it was an interesting day. There was more movement on today, but I think that's enough. And I'll be doing the evening prayer to our Blessed Mother and a few other little nuggets. Bye now.